What's up everyone, my name's Daniel Klopodin and today I'm going to be telling you about a startup I created called QuickMerch.com. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
QuickMerch is a platform designed to make building an online store as quick and easy as possible. Let's get started and you'll see what I mean. The first thing we need to do is upload a few images. When I upload an image, the website will display it for me. Next, I'm going to upload 3 more images so that I can populate my entire store. Once I do that, I'm prompted to enter my name. After typing it in, I click on Done, and just like that, we're taken to our ready-made store. From here, I've got the freedom to customize various aspects of the store. Up at the top, I can choose a color theme. There's a few pretty good options, and I think for this store, I'm gonna go with black and blue. Next, I can change the name of my store, and I'll go ahead and change it to match the theme of my brand. Once I'm happy with that, I can scroll down to change the captions for my inventory, or I can choose to leave these unedited. And in that case, they'll just show up as blank later. From here, I'm also able to change the pricing, and when I move the slider around, it'll show me what profit I'll get from each product sold. Once I'm satisfied with my store, I scroll down to the bottom and click on Save. I can choose to either log in with Facebook or use an email and password. In this case, I'm just going to use a test email. Once I enter that in, I click submit and I'll save my store. Now we're given a public link that we can share with customers and followers, and also a link that we can go to if we ever want to make more changes to the store. I'm going to go ahead and copy the public link for later. At the bottom, we've also got a button to set up our payout method. This will allow us to connect a card or bank account to ensure that every product that our store sells, we get paid for. When we click the button, we get redirected to Stripe. So I'm not going to go through this whole process right now, but instead I'll show you what a store would look like from a customer's perspective. I'm going to paste the public link I copied earlier into the address bar, and here's our store. And of course the entire website is mobile friendly, so our store will look visually pleasing and be easy to interact with on any device. As a customer, I can scroll through the store and select an item that I'd like to purchase. I click on Buy Now and then I'm prompted to select a size. I pick my desired size and then I'm redirected to the purchase page. Once the customer fills out their payment information, QuickMerch will fulfill the order and then distribute profits to the store owner. And that's it for the demo. Alright, so let's talk about what ended up happening with QuickMerch. From the beginning, the goal was to create an online store builder that was easy to use. So the approach I took for this was to start by building, then after that marketing to users, and then collecting feedback and tracking data. And this process continued iteratively. So it started with a landing page, then after that I built a store builder, and then after that I added more complex functionality such as a database, the ability to accept payments, and user authentication. When it came to marketing QuickMerch, I primarily used Facebook ads. Here's some of my favorite ad copies that I ended up making. So the result of this was that QuickMerch generated some revenue from real users. 86 stores ended up being saved, which means users actually went through the process of authentication. 20 users either connected a card or bank account, and someone from the Pioneer Startup Accelerator ended up reaching out. So let's look at a few technical things. When it comes to the architecture, we've got a user that connects to a Next.js website, and this website is hosted in AWS Amplify. This website uses Firebase for authentication and talks to a microservice backend through Amazon API Gateway. There's a few Lambda functions that handle various aspects of the application. One of these is for uploading images to an S3 bucket. Another one is for saving store information in MongoDB. Then there's also the function that handles payments and payouts via Stripe, and then a function to generate product mockups through the Media Modifier API. In addition, the website also talks to Google Analytics and a Facebook Pixel in order to collect marketing data. Lastly, the website is hooked up to Sentry for error monitoring. If we were to split up the architecture between front-end and back-end, this is what it would look like. Other interesting things that I implemented during this project. Once I started getting users, I decided I need a dev environment. I set this up across Amplify, API Gateway, and Lambda, and this interfaced well with Stripe and MongoDB. I also wrote a custom bash script to be able to deploy Lambda function code. Early on, I also built a landing page customizer to see how different configurations would affect conversion rates. Lastly, I utilized a lot of AWS CloudWatch to monitor the user journey. So what did I get from this whole process? One thing I learned is that this is a pretty difficult business model. You're counting on store creators to have a following, and and even then there's no guarantee that people will want to buy any products or that you'll have repeat customers. I also ran into a lot of issues with third-party technologies. One thing I realized is that things will break that are out of your control. No matter how reputable the company behind the API, it's best to have a backup just in case. It's also good to have automated ways to test if it's giving you the results you're expecting. I also learned a lot about marketing throughout this process, getting more familiar with conversion campaigns, audience targeting, and using data to optimize the conversion funnel. This experience also taught me that paying to acquire users can be pretty expensive. So things that I would have done differently, I definitely think I should have started by writing unit tests. This ultimately would have made the code less fragile and easy to work with in the long term. I also think it would have been nice to integrate some sort of centralized event tracking, such as Kafka or Amazon Kinesis. Another mistake I made was that the landing page used basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I built on top of this to make the store creator initially. I ended up rewriting the store creation part of the code base because states were becoming too hard to manage. Lastly, I think this project would have had a greater chance of success if I would have recruited other people to help me with it.
And that's pretty much where the story ends. I ended up abandoning QuickMerch because I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was spending a lot of my own money on it, and the platform just wasn't getting a whole lot of attention. Even though it was a failure, building QuickMerch was a really gratifying experience. I feel like it not only made me a better software engineer, but taught me a lot of other skills that I wouldn't have learned any other way. I also think that getting that first customer was one of the most exciting experiences that I've had, and I hope that whatever I end up doing next, it will be equally as fun and rewarding. To close this video, I'd like to share a quote from George Edward Woodbury, who said, "Defeat is not the worst of failures. Not to have tried is the true failure." Thanks for watching.